Hi everybody, this is Drew Dracy, longtime inker for Marvel DC, everybody, IDW, Image, CrossGen, Dark Horse, you name it, buddy, and some small press too. So anyway, here's what I like to do: grab some comics from a spinner rack and give them a quickie review, and give you a little bit of insight, or maybe just sharing some my memories that these books evoke. You know, if you have some of them, I'm sure you have similar stories. So, but anyway, we'll start with what should have been a hit, Astonishing Tales. But they came back in 1970 with a split book feature, which they did before. What Tales to Astonish, Tales to Suspense, and Strange Tales were split books because DC was actually distributing Marvel until like '68, and they had to shove all these good things in there. And basically, you got like a Gene Colan Iron Man, or a Don Heck Iron Man, and Jack Kirby Cap. You know, like between two covers. And here, the talent's there, but the timing's off because that 15 cents there. Oh my God, it hurt a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people dipped out. They just dipped out. They said, you know, that's too much. Go from 12 cents to 15 cents. That's a 1/5 increase. And, you know, you think of that today, and it'd be off-putting too. Their sales hurt. So, great idea, bad timing. But anyway, I think this is, it looks like John Severin inked it or something, but I don't know. Who knows? It might be. But what's really interesting is Barry Windsor Smith did the first few issues of Ka-Zar, and Herb Trimpe is the sole artist on this issue. And it's really interesting. He's learning from Barry Windsor Smith. Barry Windsor Smith's learning from him. I mean, would you immediately say this is Trimpe? No, it's just really, really great stuff. It's very different. I kind of wish he would do more of this kind of stuff, but I guess he felt he wanted to keep the feel that Barry then just called Barry Smith. Wow, that's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Herb's had a whole bunch of different styles over the years, and he's so underrated. He's amazing. Then we get to another legend, Gene Colan, Frank Giacoria inker, who I do like, but I think, I've said this before, I think the pencils and the inks are at odds, because Frank does super sharp, contrast art, and Gene does halftones, you know, what you would do with shading effects and such. It still looks neat. It looks kind of like the story wasn't fully realized, because some of the, I don't know, there's just seems, I don't want to say a lot of filler. It's all cool looking, but it just doesn't, you know, I don't know. There we go. So, anyway, there's that. Although J. Coy did a good job on some of the early Daredevil issues. I'm jumping ahead to Spider-Man. I know it's out of order here. Issue 3. Okay, brace yourselves, everybody. Brace yourselves. Anybody who's under 50 or whatever. This is the very second Spider-Man title ever. In other words, there was Spider-Man for 14 years or so, and then Jerry Conway introduced a second Spider-Man book, and that was just like, whoa, no way, that's crazy. Times were different then. And that logo, I friggin' hate that logo. I apologize to whoever designed it, but it's just fat, and it's not appealing. It's just like, it should have been like blah, 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 there, and make Spider-Man. It's just very stock format, you know, block lettering. Hate it. So, but the color's nice, light master, and so Jim Shooter's writing over Jerry Conway's plots, and Sal Buscema and Esposito, they're doing a good job here. And I did like Light Master, although he strikes me as being like way too powerful to deal with. But I say that a lot. You know, it's always weird to how you think too much about things and power levels, and then it's like, you know what, we're better off not thinking about it too much. It's kind of like when you see Captain America or Spider-Man or Daredevil or X-Men or, you know, Black Panther, if they get hit, they get knocked out. And it's like, you think of how many times in their careers that they've been knocked out, they should have had some terrible terrible brain injuries like football players do. But it just, you know, you just kind of let it go. It's pretty cool. This first year was a complete shit show, because it started off with Conway and Sal Buscema, and then 3 issues in, I told you in another episode that Conway just kind of took off and went to DC. So yeah, there was a lot of scrambling, and like in issue 5, I think it is, the book's like not even five issues old, and they're reprinting a book from like 2 or 3 years previous with it's a Human Torch, Morbius, and a Marvel team up story. It introduced I don't know, long story. So it just was very flimsy. It took a long time to get traction, but people love Spider-Man, and there was no other Spider-Mans at the time. There was Spidey Super Stories, which was an Electric Company PBS show that helped kids learn to read, and it was a reprint Strange Tales. But I'm saying in continuity, there weren't 2 Spider-Man books. So Archie Goodwin took over very briefly. It just kind of got patted around. Well, one of my all-time favorite books ever. I mean, to see my favorite heroes taking on, fighting in World War II, against rotten bastards in Germany there. Anyway, a middle-aged Union Jack is walking up the steps. He triumphantly stopped Baron Blood the previous issue. And they're like thrilled to have him, and he's still in fighting shape. And but I just love the faces and stuff. Yo! So she's pissed off because, my father's too old. Don't be doing this. She passes out. Look how cheap and crappy this hat is. Good Lord. That's just, wow. Anyway, it's charming in that way too. But Frank Springer and the Inks. I just love this era because Frank Robbins, he knew how to do buildings and cobblestones and stuff from, old. It was just like came right out of him. He's from that school of Milton Caniff and stuff. The only thing that was kind of wonky is he wasn't quite made for superheroes because he did a lot of tippy-toe walkings. And I was ambivalent about this book at the beginning because the first 2 issues had to do with these Nordic gods that they fought. I thought it kind of detracted from their intent to go after, U-boats and stuff. Good. It's awesome. I must have read this millions of times in different formats. Okay, Team America, not to be confused with the 2000 movie or 2001 movie starring by, those guys, Trey and Matt. And I can't focus for squat. There we go. Come on, baby. Okay, I'm not going to review you. There you go. Anyway, the Masked Marauder I always thought was kind of cool. I actually picked up the first couple issues because he intrigued me, but they never really resolved it till the last issue. And when he did, it was stupid. But I had to get this for Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider was really riding high the last year or so of his book. It was just gelling right. And then Dave Simons was the inker, and he penciled and inked this cover. And it just got good, and then he had to cancel it. So, I don't know. That's why I'm still getting the Ghost Rider Marvel Masterworks. But this is Dave Simons' pencils. And Hydra Gal. And I always do my jewelry shopping via comic books. I thought that stuff went away like in the early 70s, but apparently not. Love Johnny Blaze. And it's just the way that Simons, he gives it that gloppy kind of, almost like a harkens back to Mike Plug a little bit, but sharper. And wow, that's great. Motorcycles are so friggin' hard to draw. So he must have had reference or something, or be a. Okay. Anyway, that's all. I'm getting ahead. I'm going to slow. Okay, here's my DC for the day. Captain Carrot and the Amazing Zoo Crew versus the Crooked Colossus called Frogzilla. I love this comic. I mean, the problem with humor comics, well, for one thing, funny animal books, this would have sold like crazy in like the 50s or early 60s, but Roy Thomas and Scott Shaw, the great Scott Shaw, they created this superhero team that, and his name was originally Roger Rabbit, but the book Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which became the movie, they said they had changed names, so he became Rodney Roger Rabbit. Like, what's that guy? It's not like a wrestler. Roddy Piper. There you go. So I think these guys can make a comeback. They may have to make a few changes. Oh, definitely have to change the secret identities, because his name was Bird Rentals. After Burt Reynolds, he was a stunts guy, but he's he's what is he? Rubber Duck. I love that name, Rubber Duck. I like his powers. There's a speedster who's a turtle, fastback, and Yankee Poodle's kind of corny. But Pig Iron kicks ass, and so does what's her name, the cat girl. Oh, here we go. Okay, whoop. That's better. There we go. Sorry, everybody. I had to hit the sneeze button. That's why I was like, but the artwork is so great there. And there's like a lot of puns, you know, just a lot of, like Mallard Fillmore is the president. And, but Scott Shaw's cartooning is just so amazing. First time I heard of him, and a lot of people did, was an issue What If that he did a backup. It was what if a man bit a spider, and it was Man Spider. And it was pretty good. Frogzilla. Pig Iron's just a great character. He lived in Pittsburgh, and he fell into a vat of iron ore. So, I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, is that it? Am I done already? Huh. I guess so. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and leave any comments below. Please hit like and subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications for when I do another episode. I seem to be doing these more frequently lately, because I'm having fun. I hope you are too. And there are so many YouTube channels out there that are great, and the fact that anybody would spend time with my little, club here, it means a lot. It really does. It means the world, because there's so many other options. You could be saying like, "Oh, this Drew guy's full of shit," you know, blah 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 blah. But I'm very appreciative of everybody who watches my videos, and I hope they check out some of the other videos I have as well. So that's it, everybody.